Hey, so I'd been talking about, oh, I need to go and get another poem to just sort of have to sit with. And I've been using the Poetry Foundation website for that. When I got to the Poetry Foundation website today, I found an announcement saying that the executive director and president and the president, two separate positions, had both resigned effective immediately. And I was like, oh, what's that about? And going by the news reports, I found that what that had to do with was that the Poetry Foundation had, like with a lot of other organizations, what turned out institutions, had issued a very short statement in support of Black Lives Matters for four sentences, which had not gone down well with the various communities who had found that inadequate, who it seems had been having a lot of tussles with the Poetry Foundation. Um, Founded in like 1912, I think it is. Up until a certain point, their budget was basically $1 million a year for an organization that's probably pretty small. But they got a grant from the from Lilly, a woman, Lilly, who is part of an heiress of the Eli Lilly um, um, giant pharmaceutical company, for I think it's 100 million, which has grown to like 287 million in the years I guess it's been run. And there's been a lot of debate over exactly how that money should be used. Um, and this was, I guess, there already been a petition about supporting poets during the COVID-19 thing, and then now there's this one that was signed by 1,000 poets about that there need to be meaningful changes in how the company, the corporation, the foundation worked uh, in the wake of Black Lives Matters, and also trans and people of color and just various other groups that aren't as well served, aren't served by art. They argue are not served by these big foundations, which I think when I first looked at it as kind of, white dudes, like, well, what does this have to do with poetry? Da, 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 da. But looking at it, there is the thing of, there's a lot of, especially in the United States, they have much more of a thing of these big foundations of like rich people in the States, setting up foundations, setting up trusts to benefit the arts. But they're to benefit the arts from a very particular point of view, from the point of view of the people who've given the money, the people who they they choose to run these foundations, which is oftentimes not very inclusive of other people in the society, the not super rich, the not white, the not straight, and all that. So, while even in myself, I've got this kind of knee jerk thing of like, oh, what's this got to do with poetry? It's like, actually, this might have lot to do with poetry, and a lot to do with the arts in general. Of a lot of things about the arts is the arts flourishes where there's the money, and who has the money gets to, a lot of sometimes gets to say what flourishes, what gets highlighted, what gets supported, what gets developed. Um, so it's an interesting development. I'm probably going to continue with the Poetry Foundation, just using the poetry because I find a lot of the poets on there interesting. But definitely not going to just sort of shut this down as like, oh, what has it got to do with poetry? It's got a lot to do with poetry, a lot to do with all aspects of our life and expression there. I mean, it's in the grand scheme of things, it's tiny, but it's funny how much symbolic weight even something like the Poetry Foundation can have uh, in this continuing discussion. So I just thought I'd note that here, since used have used poems from the Poetry Foundation. I don't know if they're Poetry Foundation poets; they just happen to be poems that I found on their website. And yeah, maybe I should try and open that up to other places as well to make sure I do that while I'm doing my incredibly tiny sampler of reading poetry. Yeah, it's just you can't escape the world. And the world is indeed, I'm probably trying to access the world through literature of all its types, and so it's not surprising it's going to be there. All right, more videos later.